Welcome to another episode of Conversations for a 21st Century World. Wow, am I excited. I've been asking the question I'm sure people have on their minds is, what can I do now in spite of COVID-19? People who plan their events and they're ready to do their thing, and then bam, this COVID cancels everything. And I've had the good fortune to be called by one of my best clients and dear friends, Bettina Carey, to say, Johnson, this is our time. And, I need you to help me do this. And I said, okay, Bettina, how many months do we got? She says, we got 10 weeks. So, sorry, it's so good to have you here. Let me just read a little bit. This is an amazing woman here. Described as a communicator and force of nature, Bettina Carey motivates and educates with her upfront, no-holds-barred, keeping it real persona. With the compassion of Oprah Winfrey, Bettina, the diminutive 4.9.5-inch Latina, is a force to be sure. As a well-known business-savvy maven and ardent supporter of women, Bettina is simply known as the woman behind the women. As both a motivator and inspirational speaker, she leaves a lasting impression. As Chief Empowerment Officer of the Women's Empowerment Marketplace, We Empower You, a global online network whose mission it is to change the globe one business at a time. Bettina has been the big dreams to change the globe by helping empower women who want to start and run online business. For We Empower You, she is responsible for strategic leadership and implementing initiatives to launch online micro enterprises worldwide. Now, her next big project is she has a book entitled Breaking Through Your Own Glass Ceiling, Unlocking Your Full and Hidden Potential with Your Master Key, is being written during COVID-19. Stay tuned for the release date. Bettina, that's a great entry point. Can you just tell us how you got there, how you broke through, girl? We need to hear this. Go ahead.
Yes, well, as most people would know, just life, has a way of giving lemons throughout your lifetime, and the goal is to make lemonade, right? So, I came up as a woman in the 70s, where I was offered an opportunity to basically, go forth with a nursing career. And I started out as a young professional, found my way into the University of Washington Bachelor's of Science in Nursing program. And I was literally living my dream when all of a sudden, after I graduated and was working in the profession in obstetrics and nursing, I found myself having a slip and fall accident that took me out of the workforce. And unbeknownst to me, I didn't realize that that was going to be a huge opportunity that was knocking on my door. And as I was recovering from what turned out to be about 6 years of intractable pain, I ended up starting and founding a healthcare marketing company. And while I was doing that, I ended up becoming the president of a small medical organization. And I helped to grow that organization over a period of 2 years, tripling its membership. I didn't know that these were skills, talents, and abilities at the time. I just thought this was a lot of fun. And those women, they called my heartstrings and they pulled on me. And so a cadre of those women got together, started getting together rather, for a monthly networking. And truly, networking really wasn't the word that was being used at the time. We might have been considered a coffee clatch, to be sure. And as one by one, they started to invite other women to the table, I soon found myself working with women who wanted to know how to run and start their small businesses. And I found myself interested in hosting conferences and workshops and trainings, and then ultimately started to create the Women's Empowerment Summit.
So you did these conferences, and so tell me about that. I mean, because
Yeah, so
I
I
there.
literally had 5,000 women over a period of many years since the late 90s who joined me at these what became known as women's empowerment events. And so the long and the short of it was that somewhere about 2011, I ended up having to face the reality that while I was helping a lot of women, I wasn't able to really make enough income from those activities to really be self-supporting. And I had to literally jump out of what I believe is my purpose on this planet, to empower women and young women in particular. And so I went ahead and I went back to doing marketing. I run a small boutique agency that does marketing, PR, and publishing services. And last year, I got that knock on the door, that calling, as it were, just came circling back around to say, it's time to rise up, step back into your role as the women's empowerment leader that you are. And so I started to plan the Women's Empowerment Summit on paper and in my head, and you and I started to talk about it as well. And in March of this year, when I was thinking about going forth with a June event for these women that I had come to know and love, like and trust, and all of those things, I ended up being faced with the same thing that everyone else was facing, that we were now under lockdown. And so I embraced the possibility that maybe, just maybe, it was time to do something virtually, which you had been knocking on my door about for years.
Several times.
Years,
Bettina, look
probably
at this. You're giving all this
9
money away to
years.
the hotel.
Yeah, 9 years, I think you had been sharing
Yeah,
with me that it was
yeah,
time to do this.
yeah.
So with less than 10 weeks, we decided as a collective to go ahead and take our energy and our, knowing, and to take a summit. We had a summit learning a new app. We had a summit to learn new people that we brought into this fold to help us with this summit. And in 10 weeks, we managed to bring together over 115 women and bold men that either were behind the scenes orchestrating the summit or they were right in as attendees. So we had a little over 100 attendees altogether. About 15 of us were on the team recording this whole entire process and journey, and about 24 were the speakers that were providing the great and absolutely stunning content that will live on in perpetuity now. So I'm really excited about taking these lemons that we were delivered with COVID and turning them right into lemonade this year.
Yeah. And the whole world really is watching. And it's so good that I'm having you on the show because the best, you're social proof of, what is possible with the right framework. One of the conversations I've had, she said, I used to be afraid of different things. I'm fearless now. I'm fearless now.
Yeah.
And that just resonated all through me because I said, hey, this is such a nice opportunity. And especially now with COVID-19, because a lot of businesses are just held up. People need jobs too. I know we're talking about the possibility of using, the expertise that we've acquired to actually do a world-class job fair even that can hire more women and, drive more business. And I know you have can you tell us about your membership? You have a membership club. That's really interesting. Can you tell us about
so
that?
as a result of the summit, we ended up kicking off the Women's Empowerment Marketplace and Global Directory. And what that entails is that we now have an offering that we call We Empower You. And it's about getting together and having your online business, basically working collaboratively with all of the members. We host weekly meetings where folks can share what they're doing. I share a lot of marketing tips and tricks that I've learned and discovered over the years as a marketing expert. And we also have the platform host, which is Lee Romanoff. She's instructing us on how to really drive revenue and profitability through an online presence. most people have had their business online, but it's more like having a fancy brochure of a website, and they haven't really looked at how do you make money online. And so what we're doing is converting the way people think. Both women, and the majority are women, but we also have some bold men involved, and really transforming their business models to include an online presence that actually generates revenue.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really impressed, and I'm part of that group of bold men. I mean, I'm so honored to see, you know, everybody moving forward and problem solving together. I think community is the best way to really rapidly move forward than trying to figure it out all alone. So this is good.
Yes,
So
for
what
sure.
next, Bettina? Tell me what next. What's next? Tell me what's going on.
Well,
What's next?
besides writing the book, which is Breaking Through Your Own Glass Ceiling, that book is really uh, a book about the fact that I believe personally that the gap that we have between revenue in business and wages between our male counterparts and ourselves really lies at this point more with ourselves than it does with anything that we're facing in the workplace or in the workforce. And the reason I say that is because I run into mindset issues with individuals all the time. And they are their own jailers. They are the ones blocking themselves from success. And that can appear in the form of perfectionism. It can be the self-saboteur. It could be the imposter syndrome. There's so many other ways that we can be stopped or blocked from achieving success that have absolutely nothing to do with other people. And at the end of the day, we cannot control the outside influences out there. There's going to be biases in the workplace. But when we work on our mind, we can, in fact, break through to the other side. And one of the things that happened for me in this last year was I broke through fear. That's false evidence appearing real.
Yes,
Because in
yes.
2011, when I had to step down from my role as the leader of this women's empowerment movement, it was simply because I did not know enough about managing my financial affairs with regard to my business. As the years rolled by, the last 9 years, I've been able to learn everything I needed to know. So instead of being like a puppy cowering in a corner underneath a desk in a room, I broke through to the other side to be a powerful woman who's a really great steward of money at this point. And it's completely changed my life. But I have to say, I had to break through the fear. And what? Fear of embarrassment if the summit didn't get realized, fear of embarrassment that I might not get my book published, fear, 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 fear. And what I discovered over the last year in producing this summit and coming to some realizations about myself is that it's all in my head. There is no reality to it. There's nobody standing there in front of me with a weapon of any kind about to take my life.
Yes.
In fact, it's just my mind playing tricks on me. So
Yes.
I've worked with my mind in the last year and a half with Tamara Fleming, Johniki Severy, Dr. Cherie Carter Scott, a number of people who've been influential, Lauren Archer, to name a few. And those women have helped me to unlock my capacity, my hidden full potential. Debrina Jackson Gandy. Some of these women were, of course, the speakers on our summit. And so what that's unlocked for me is the possibility that I can do my summits every quarter, that I can serve women worldwide, that the platforms that I've now taken the time to learn, which was no easy task, that those platforms can help other women business owners and bold men who are championing women and who are there for us and that are going to help lift us up to the next level. So that's what's actually opened up for me, and I'm hoping to help and empower women the rest of my days. I just turned 62 this year, a very proud moment in my career, a very proud moment in my life, and I have nothing that'll stop me not even COVID, from achieving the success and the possibilities that I have in mind for my life going forward. And with that said, what I am doing is empowering women around the globe to have their micro enterprises online with revenue producing and revenue generating platforms. So that's where I'm headed. And I call it the future train. So jump aboard the
Get
future
aboard.
train.
No,
All
you
aboard.
inspired me being around your amazing power women and your spirit and your vibration has got me rattling the cage of my men. And I say, hey, look,
Yeah.
these women are taking action. I said, I'm so lucky to be a part of seeing the experience of this. What about you? What about us? Well, how can we be better men? How can we? Because
Yeah.
we don't. Some of us men have fear that we're not even in touch with yet. I mean, we're just starting to go through this, and so I'm kind of reaching out to say, hey, look, I've learned a few things just by working with you that we can then make this a better planet because we're all in relationship together.
Yes, we're all in this together.
Yeah.
And Art, I could not have done this without you. We both had to learn the app. A number of other people had to learn the app as we went along. But at the end of the day, we still had the conversations between ourselves that actually helped our learning. So yes, I could have learned the app on my own, but it would have taken way more time because when you're in isolation, you can go fast, but you can't go as into the future as I'm intending without others to support that.
No,
and that was another big lesson in my glass ceiling. So why was I not able to continue in 2011 with this women's empowerment movement, which was, by the way, very successful in its own right, was because I didn't have a team of people behind me. Now I have a team of 15, including myself. And back then I had me, myself, and I was a one-woman show. So for those of you who are out there and you're watching and you think that you can be a one-woman show, doing everything under the sun, you will eventually run into this glass ceiling called there's not enough time for you, there's not enough time for your family, there's not enough time for your friendships if you are the only person on your team. So expanding the team, bringing on the right platforms, bringing on the right people, having a dream team, those are some of the things that have now set us up for success with the summit going forward. And I have a book coach for my book, so I have that success is intended as well. So when people really embrace their mindset and they're doing whatever they can to bring the right people into their life to help their dreams along, that's when you break through. That's when you turn the rain into rainbows. That's when you turn the lemons into lemonade. That's when the silver lining that's in the cloud is able to be, really, really bright in your life. And so those are the things that are my mantras in my head that I repeat over and over and over again. So when the universe gives you time, as in this COVID time, take it, because you never know when you're going to have time again.
One thing I've noticed about you that you've taught me a whole lot of is that for the longest time, just the day that I met you, here's this woman who's blasting out all these emails, and I said, "Who the heck is you called her?" I said, "Who are you, Bettina?" And she said, "Oh, I'm sorry, blah blah blah. I won't send you new." I said, "No, I want to meet you. You have such positive energy." So I met her in the library. She didn't tell me what she looked like. I didn't tell her what I looked like, and the vibe was just so good. And what I noticed through her total life is how much you give of your energy, your passion, your heart, and your brilliance. And the giving is what flows a whole lot of good. You have an army of people behind you because of the good that you have been doing it out front. And a lot of people get it wrong. The way that you're being is attracting so much good that is like, and I'm a spiritual person, so you're literally tapping into the law of infinite supply.
Absolutely.
You really are.
Absolutely.
So
And
anyway, I'm blessed. Thank you so
I
much. I know
feel
you.
totally blessed by having you in my life too.
Oh, you are just
And I'm
amazing.
so glad that we stayed in communication. I know we went through some health challenges, both of us.
Yeah.
Yours more significant than mine last year, and mine was this year. And I have to say, with a positive mindset, with healthier bodies, with opportunities that require time, like writing a book requires time. I have time now, of course, because I'm spending most of my days indoors. And I think that there's huge opportunities for both women who, of course, who I'm helping empower, but also the bold men that we have in our lives too.
I'm
So
so honored.
thank you so much.
Thank you so much. So thank you, people. If you like what we're doing here, please subscribe to my channel and click on my bell icon, and so you can be notified of more good stuff to come.
Yes, and if folks want to reach me, the easiest is to
Yes.
text the word women to
Okay.
555-888, and or you can email me at askbettina@gmail.com, or you can call me at 206-349-4297. And don't forget to visit us on the web at the Women's Empowerment Summit.com, which is September the 9th, and it's also every quarter from here on out. And going forward, you can visit the Women's Empowerment Marketplace.com.
So thank you so much. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.